September 3rd isn't just a Wednesday on the calendar, it's a doorway carved into time. Virgo, something sacred is opening for you, and you can feel it. Not in your mind, but in your chest. In the quiet hours of the night. In the restlessness that doesn't make sense. This isn't coincidence. This is a cosmic summons, and it's calling your name. Before midnight, a rare soul union portal unlocks, and those who align before the window closes may enter a timeline of divine connection, sacred mirroring, and heart clarity. But those who hesitate may find themselves in delay, circling familiar loops they swore they'd left behind. This is not a warning, it's an invitation, one that recognizes the work you've done. The energy is not random. It arrives when you're ready. And readiness isn't about perfection, it's about presence. Can you be fully here, fully open, fully honest? With yourself first, and then with whoever steps forward? Because that's what soul union demands. Not fantasy, not a savior, but mutual recognition. You as you are, them as they are. Nothing hidden, everything real. There's urgency here, but not panic. Just precision, like a lock clicking into place. This window, this specific energetic threshold, doesn't open every week, and it won't wait until you feel completely healed. It asks only one thing, that you show up. The promise is beautiful, intimacy that doesn't deplete, connection that awakens, and clarity that frees you. But you must choose it, and choice is a ritual. Tonight, we begin with clarity. What this portal actually is, why you were prepared for it, what signs to look for, and how to unlock the 3 keys that open your path to soul union. Each key will reveal a deeper layer. Each one must be activated with care. And by the end, there will be a decree, something your soul will recognize, something you'll say out loud to claim what's always been yours. So stay until the final word. Let it echo. Let it land. You already feel the shift, don't you? That soft pressure in the air. That quiet sense of something approaching. This is the hour. This is your gate. And now, the path you walk to reach it begins to make sense. You didn't arrive at this moment by accident. The path to soul union has been hidden in your footsteps all along. Virgo, your heart has always moved with precision, even when it felt like chaos. You've loved deeply, but silently. You've hoped fiercely, but quietly. You've held out for something that felt real, not loud. And because of that, the world often misunderstood you, thought you were too picky, too distant, too much in your own mind. But the truth is, you were protecting something sacred. The loneliness you felt wasn't a punishment, it was preparation. The long pauses, the almost connections, the unspoken words were not failures. They were initiations. Every time you chose to walk away from what wasn't aligned, you carved space for what could be, even when it hurt, especially when it hurt. You honored truth over comfort, and that made you rare, but it also made you ready. What others called emotional detachment was actually discernment. What looked like walls were actually gates with passwords. Only the true match could enter. And that's why the soul union portal is opening for you now. Not because you finally earned it, but because it's time. Your soul remembers a promise older than this life, a vow made in spirit before names and bodies, that you would find each other, not when it was easy, but when it was true. And here's the deeper truth. You were never too much. You were always just right, for the connection meant to meet you in wholeness. You weren't abandoned. You were being cleared. What didn't stay wasn't rejection. It was redirection. You are not meant to settle for almosts. You are meant to remember what your heart came here to reclaim. This isn't about romance in the usual sense. It's about resonance. Someone whose frequency matches yours. Not just in desire, but in devotion. Not just in chemistry, but in capacity. And the pain you felt? It's not a scar, it's a key. The ache you carry is what makes you able to recognize the one who carries the matching piece. Now, let's step into the actual mechanism behind this moment. What this portal really is, how the stars are aligning around you, and why the next few hours carry a weight that your soul already understands. Soul union isn't about finding someone. It's about remembering someone. A sacred mirror, a divine echo, the one whose energy feels like home before they speak a word. This portal, open only for a short window around September 3rd, isn't just emotional. It's energetic, and it's precise. For Virgo, it arrives wrapped in clarity, timed with divine detail, and charged with frequency. You don't have to search for it, you only have to attune to it. At the core of this portal is an astrological current, Venus in trine with Neptune. It doesn't shout, it flows. This aspect is the opening of heart channels. Love that bypasses logic and moves through intuition. The seen and unseen blending. Virgo now activates the 7th house, the domain of union, truth, and sacred commitment. This is the house of real relationships, the ones that require transparency and mutual elevation. No more illusions, no more guesswork. If it's real, it reveals. You'll know the portal is active by the signs that begin to surround you. Your body may feel waves of emotion at strange moments. Your heart flutters when nothing's happening. You see 222 without looking for it. You dream of faces you've never met but feel like you know. Conversations echo something deeper than their words. There's a softness in your chest, a signal, a knock. But here's the key. This portal only opens for those who are present. Not perfect, present. You cannot access soul union through fantasy or avoidance. You access it by being honest, with yourself, with your desires, with the patterns you're ready to break. The universe is not punishing or withholding. It's waiting for your full yes, the one that comes without pretending. And now, the 3 keys prepare to reveal themselves. Each one is an initiation. Each one unlocks a deeper layer of your readiness. The first key is about release, not the kind that comes with force, but the kind that comes with truth. You cannot receive sacred love while holding on to its imitation. You cannot hold new energy with full hands. So we begin with the first unlocking, the false bonds, the soul-level cutting of what looks like love but lacks its frequency. It's time to choose clarity over chemistry. The release is waiting. Let's go. The first key is not always the most comfortable, but it is the most crucial. Virgo, to enter soul union, you must first release the false bond, the one that tugs at your memory but drains your present, the one that felt almost right but left you questioning your worth. These are the karmic loops, the soul echoes that were meant to teach, not to stay. They showed you what love isn't, so you could recognize what love truly is. False bonds don't always look toxic. Sometimes they look beautiful, at first. There's intensity, familiarity, a pull that feels cosmic. But instead of peace, there's confusion. Instead of expansion, contraction. You wait for a message that never comes. You give energy but don't feel received. You make excuses because you feel the potential. But soul union doesn't ask you to live off potential. It anchors in reality. One Virgo once sat in that space for years, a connection that sparked everything but delivered nothing. She stayed because it felt deep, and it was, but only for healing, not for home. When she finally wrote the truth, "This is not mine anymore," and burned it under the waning moon, something shifted. Space opened. Grief? Yes, but also lightness. Within weeks, the real began to arrive. That's the truth of this key. It's a severing of spell work, the spell of almost, the spell of if only. You must choose now to release what is not soul, not out of anger, but out of alignment. Because continuing to hold what doesn't hold you back is the same as saying no to what does. Your ritual is simple. Write their name, or the energy they represent. Write what they once gave you, and what they now cost you. Fold the paper. Light a candle. Burn the bond in safe fire. As it turns to ash, say, "I release what is not soul," and breathe. Deep, slow, final. It may not feel like freedom immediately, but that's because the space is still echoing. Let it echo. The silence is the proof the noise is gone. And into that silence, the real begins to speak. Now that the past has been cleared, we open the next key. The mirror must begin within. What you seek must first awaken inside. Soul union is not found. It's matched. Let's reclaim the inner alignment now. Before soul union can arrive, it must recognize something inside you: wholeness. The second key is reclaiming inner union, the moment when you return to yourself fully, without apology. Virgo, your nature is to serve, to refine, to heal. But often, you've overextended, given to others what you hadn't yet offered yourself, and the wound of that imbalance shows up in seeking. In the quiet desperation for someone else to fill a space only you can anchor. Inner union is not isolation. It's integration. It's when your mind, heart, body, and spirit begin speaking the same language. It's when your yes is clean, your no is kind, and your presence is enough. You stop needing the outside to reflect what you haven't remembered inside. And suddenly, you become magnetic. Not because you're trying, but because you're whole. You'll know this shift is happening when you no longer chase clarity from others. When you wake up and feel peace even if no message comes. When you choose to rest without guilt. When you say no to what looks good because it doesn't feel true. That's not detachment. It's self-respect. It's the root of attraction at the soul level. Picture a Virgo who used to text first. Always. Used to apologize for needing space. Used to prove they were enough to keep someone's attention. One evening, they lit a candle and looked into the mirror, not to check appearance, but to meet their own gaze. They placed a hand on their heart and whispered, "I am not waiting. I am already whole." And for the first time, they believed it. That's your ritual now. Find a mirror, light a small flame, place your hand over your heart. Speak your soul desire, not as a plea, but as a knowing. Say, "I am whole. I call in what matches wholeness." Then exhale. Let it settle. Let your energy recalibrate around the truth. This isn't a performance, it's a remembering. And once you remember your own enoughness, soul union begins circling. Because wholeness is the signal, the beacon, the magnetic pulse. And from that pulse, something stirs. A connection approaches, not in fantasy, but in frequency. The third key is readiness. You've aligned the inner. Now, we step into response. When the soul calls, how will you answer? The final key is the turning point. It's where energy becomes choice, where potential becomes movement. Virgo, this is responding to the soul call. Your willingness to say yes when the moment arrives, even if it trembles. Soul union isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it knocks once. And you must recognize it, not with logic, but with presence. When you've released the false bond and reclaimed your inner alignment, a new current begins to move. You'll feel it in small ways, a sudden urge to reach out, a dream that lingers long after waking, a familiar face that returns unexpectedly. You'll catch a stranger's eyes and feel like time bends. Or a message comes, simple yet charged. And something in you knows. But here's the trap: overthinking. Virgo, your gift is discernment, but your shadow is delay. You may feel the call, but question if it's real. You may doubt if you're ready. You may analyze the timing. And in that space, the portal begins to close. Soul union doesn't respond to hesitation. It responds to trust. One Virgo felt it. The text arrived late at night. "Been thinking of you." Every part of her tensed. She'd been here before, but this time it felt different. No anxiety, just awareness. She almost deleted it. Then she lit a candle, breathed. placed a hand on her heart, and replied, not from fear, but from clarity. That response led to the meeting that changed everything. Not because it was perfect, but because it was true. Your ritual is simple. Respond within 24 hours of the sign. Whether it's reaching out, accepting an invitation, saying yes to the unknown, move. Don't delay. The action doesn't need to be grand. It just needs to be real. Trust the energy more than the outcome. Whisper now. My yes activates the sacred. That yes isn't just for them. It's for you. It says, I am ready to meet myself in another. It opens a channel. It signals the universe that you are no longer in waiting. You are in embodiment. And that's where the prophecy becomes real. Not in fantasy, but in footprints. Someone is approaching. Or maybe they've already arrived. But soul union cannot land where the answer is stuck in maybe. Now we turn to proof. Not in theory, but in story. One Virgo. One choice. One mirrored soul. Let's see what happened when the yes was given. She almost didn't reply. The message sat on her screen for over an hour. Just a few words. No pressure, no question. Yet it felt like a wave crashing through her chest. Been thinking of you. Simple. Soft. But the timing was anything but random. That week she had seen 222 every day. Her heart had been opening in quiet ways. She'd done the release. She'd faced the mirror. And now, it was here. The soul call. She was a Virgo who'd done the work. Years of peeling back the layers. Years of confusing connection for chemistry. Of being the one who reached, overcompensated, made it okay. But this time was different. She didn't feel the ache. She felt an opening. That's how she knew. Soul union doesn't panic, it awakens. She lit a candle, sat in stillness, touched her heart. Then she wrote a response. Not to gain anything, not to reignite something old, but as a declaration of presence. Just a few honest lines, not guarded, not gushing, just true. She hit send and didn't grip the outcome. That was new. That was growth. 3 days later, they met in person. Not for a date, but for a conversation. But everything about it felt synced. The way they both arrived 5 minutes early. The way silence felt natural. The way no one needed to explain their healing because it was felt. No one asked, "Where have you been?" They just looked at each other and knew, here you are. This wasn't perfection. This was alignment. The kind that doesn't need convincing. The kind that breathes. They didn't label it that day. But both of them felt the shift. This wasn't a beginning. It was a return. A circle closing. A seed blooming. A frequency matched. The lesson? Soul union isn't found. It's claimed. Through clarity. Through courage. Through choosing the present over the past. The door didn't open because she waited. It opened because she moved. And in moving, she aligned. That's what's available to you now. Not a fantasy. A frequency. Not a chase. A meeting. And it begins when you honor your truth. Not just in thought, but in action. Now, let's make it real. A ritual. A doorway. Something to do before midnight. Not to force love, but to welcome it. It's time. Before the clock strikes 12, the invitation stands open. Virgo, the portal is here. You've done the energetic work. Now you seal it in form. This is the practical ritual, not complicated, not ceremonial, but powerful. When done with presence, it shifts the timeline, not because it forces the universe's hand, but because it aligns you with its flow. And that is where soul union can find you. Begin with step 1. Write your soul desire. Use present tense. Not, I hope to find love, but I am connected in sacred union. Be specific, but feel it. Not just the person, but the energy, the feeling, the frequency. Let it come through your body as much as your mind. You're not writing a wish. You're writing a recognition. Step 2. Speak it aloud. Stand in front of a mirror or a candle flame. Look into your own eyes, or let the flame hold your gaze. Speak your desire as truth, not longing. I am ready. I am whole. I open to union that honors my soul. Say it with breath, with intention. This moment is for you. Step 3. Release. Fold the paper and either burn it safely or hide it somewhere intentional. A drawer, a journal, under your pillow. As you do, exhale. Say, I trust, I align. I release. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the how. The ritual isn't about control, it's about clarity. If you want to amplify this, add a Venus ritual. Light rose incense. Play music that opens your heart. Adorn yourself in something that makes you feel radiant. Beauty is a frequency, and soul union responds to it. You don't need to be seen by another. You need to be witnessed by yourself. But no matter what, complete it before midnight. Not because magic vanishes, but because intention respects timing. Virgo, your gift is precision. This ritual is your offering. Not to the stars, but to your own readiness. Say this now. I open to soul union with grace. Let it be a vibration. Let it echo through your field. You're not summoning someone. You're becoming the place they recognize. The energy is moving. Now, we look for the signs, the confirmations that alignment has begun. Let's tune in to what appears when the portal begins to answer. You may not notice it right away. Soul union doesn't always arrive in lightning. Sometimes it whispers through ordinary moments. But Virgo, the signs are real, and they are already circling. After the ritual, your field shifts. Your energy speaks before you do. And the universe begins to mirror that change. Not to tease you, but to confirm it's working. You'll feel it first in your nervous system. A deep breath without trying, a stillness in your chest, the absence of urgency. That's alignment. Peace that arrives without a reason is one of the first markers. You're not waiting, you're allowing. And that shift alone calls in new frequency. You may see repeating numbers, especially 222, the number of union and divine match, or 777, the number of miracles unfolding. You'll notice texts from old connections, invitations to unfamiliar spaces, or even strangers mirroring something back to you. Dreams may intensify. You may see doors, mirrors, eyes, oceans. These are symbols of merging, of reflection, of arrival. But if you feel nothing, if the world seems quiet after your ritual, don't panic. Alignment doesn't always feel loud. Sometimes the energy settles in silence first. Watch your dreams for the next 48 hours. Pay attention to your emotions, to what triggers softness or resistance. The answers are there. To stay in alignment, choose one anchor each day. A small practice. Each morning, place your hand on your chest. Breathe once. Whisper, I choose soul. This isn't about controlling the outcome. It's about embodying the readiness. The one who is ready doesn't rush, they root. That is your posture now. Also, protect the energy you've just created. For the next day or two, avoid unnecessary emotional entanglements. Don't explain your journey to those who can't hear it. Don't seek validation. Don't test the energy by poking at the past. Let the magic breathe. Let it land. Comment the decree below if you feel it rising. I choose soul union. Let it echo into the space between you and what's coming. Because the portal doesn't close with silence. It closes with intention. Now, we enter the final moment, the seal, the decree that tells your soul, and the cosmos. I'm ready now. One final breath. One sacred line. Let's complete it. You've walked through fire and silence. You've let go. You've returned inward. You've said yes to truth over fantasy. Virgo, this was never about finding someone to complete you. It was about remembering who you are, so soul union could find you, clear, grounded, awake. The work you've done is sacred. And now, September 3rd reaches its final hour. This day marks the closing of a karmic chapter. What began as longing now becomes alignment. You don't chase, you attract. You don't wait, you live. And in that space, the mirror of your soul begins to reflect back in form. Not in desperation, but in divine rhythm. The union you seek is not distant. It's already circling. It's already listening. But it needed your clarity. It needed your yes. And now, you give it fully. Say it aloud. I align with soul union. I am ready. Let it rise from your chest. Speak it like a key turning in a lock, not as a question, as a command. This decree isn't to summon, it's to declare. It tells your field, your guides, your body, your story. I am in position. I am in presence. I am no longer half here, waiting for someone to notice. I notice myself. And that is the highest signal of readiness. Now type it below to seal it into the visible. I choose soul union. Let the comment be your stamp, not for attention, for activation. Because when others see it, they feel permission to claim theirs too. That's how collective magic moves. One heart, one yes at a time. The hour is close. You've opened the space. The ritual is complete. Now, your only task is to live as if it's already done. Speak with integrity. Rest with peace. Move with magnetism. And most of all, allow. Let it come in the shape and timing that matches your truth. Soul union doesn't arrive with drama. It arrives with depth. You've cleared the way. You've aligned the code. You've chosen the path. Now watch. Listen. Trust. The door is open, but not for long.